You guys probably all remember this post recently regarding the institutional DeFi blueprint that Ripple outlined regarding the XRP ledger, with, of course, the compliance-focused infrastructure positioning XRP as a settlement and bridge asset within that institutional DeFi stack. Well, we're bringing this back up because we just got a big update. Now, this is clear confirmation from Brad Garlinghouse on just how critical XRP is for the Ripple stack. Now, when we think about Ripple and we think about XRP, I mean, obviously, yes, two completely different things. However, Ripple is utilizing the power, they're channeling the power that XRP possesses to ultimately enable everything that Ripple is trying to do, which is, of course, build out the internet of value, target institutional, adoption in a big way, bring them onto the chain, have them, utilize the blockchain for on-chain FX, improve cross-border payments, you name it. I mean, there's so much that could, be said with blockchain adoption in general from institutional players. Tokenization comes to mind. Payments obviously are like the big killer use case, but there's so much more. But the reason why I'm bringing all of this back up, the reason why I'm talking about this is because recently there was a quote from Mr. Man XRP regarding this post from CoinDesk, where he said, and some of you thought Ripple wasn't true to their word as XRP as a bridge asset. The vision has not changed. The direction remains aligned. Now, yeah, I mean, listen, the vision is 100% still there. Like, everyone thought that Ripple completely pivoted. I still remember when Ripple announced ROUSD. Like, everyone was like, all right, well, there you guys have it. Ripple doesn't care about XRP at all. They utilized you guys for, exit liquidity so that they could go and acquire all these companies, launch their own stablecoin, XYZ. The thing is, it's so funny because the stablecoin launch actually benefits XRP holders way more than they think. Like, the key aspect that comes to mind with ROUSD being launched is the fact that they no longer have to rely on just selling XRP for profit. Like, they will now make money off of ROUSD. It's the same exact way that Tether makes billions and billions and billions of dollars quarter over quarter with their stablecoin. So now you no longer have to think like, all right, well, the only use that XRP, that Ripple has for XRP is just, profit. No, that changed with ROUSD. But again, everyone looked at it as just negative for XRP. It's actually very positive for XRP. And of course, when we think about stablecoins, I mean, there's not only going to be US dollar backed stablecoins, there's going to be a stablecoin for every single fiat currency, which is also reinforcing XRP as that bridge asset. Now, when we think about this, we go over here. So Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse, XRP family has and always will be top of mind for Ripple. Now, what exactly he's talking about is this post. So he's quoting Mr. Man's post and saying, glad to see the message is finally even more clear. XRP family has and always will be top of mind for Ripple. Now, this is not a big surprise. If you guys have been following the recent comments made from multiple Ripple employees, then you would obviously know that this is still the main focus. We go over here. This goes back to October, actually. And, I made the post and I said, I'm reminding you all that XRP sits at the center of everything Ripple does. Lock in. Because this is a quote from Brad back in October regarding Ripple Prime, which was originally Hidden Road. He said, I'm reminding you all that XRP sits at the center of everything Ripple does. Lock in. Now, if you guys do remember, Hidden Road had XRP at the core of everything. All right. They even said that with Hidden Road, they're moving $3 trillion per year. And this is exactly the amount of volume and value that you could expect moving over XRP. That's a huge quote. That's a huge quote. And it's also a huge statement. And it goes to show you the long-term commitment that Ripple has towards XRP and the XRP ledger ecosystem. But then we also got back on January 9th. And I said here, I mean, it doesn't get much clearer than that. XRP is the foundation for the Ripple stack. And yes, if we look at what Brad said, this was regarding how big 2025 was, specifically quarter four. And he even says within this, again, XRP has been and will continue to be the heartbeat of that vision, because we have here our two major acquisitions, Ripple Prime and G Treasury, greatly accelerate and expand our ability to deliver on our vision, enabling the internet of value. XRP always has been at the core of that. Because again, if we're thinking about what the internet of value really is, well, back in the beginning of this video, I just told you guys, right? Ripple is fully committed to enabling, the internet of value, moving money faster than ever before, tokenization becoming a big deal, on-chain effects, all of these things happening. That's the internet of value. Now, when we also think about that, we go down here, building and using crypto infrastructure, updating our global financial plumbing, and rethinking legacy systems. None of this happens overnight. At Ripple, we're going to continue taking the long view of what crypto-based assets like XRP and RLUSD can do rather than chasing cycles and hype. Because again, this is exactly what's happening. This is a new financial system. This is, that whole massive shift from the traditional system to a completely new financial system. Now, at the same exact time that he posted this, we also have another quote from Reese Merrick. This is another Ripple employee. XRP is emerging as the backbone for real-world financial infrastructure. And this was all regarding that DeFi roadmap. Again, every single Ripple employee is literally telling you XRP is more important to the stack and to this, real infrastructure that's becoming a reality than ever before. Nothing has changed. In fact, I would argue that XRP's use, XRP's value is more reinforced now than ever before. The foundation is set. The next wave is already here. Now, when we think about this has caused a lot of people to flip on Ripple and XRP. We just got a big update, actually, regarding some whales buying up XRP. We got this update here. This is from XRP Arthur. XRP's biggest holders are back in accumulation mode during the dip. Wallets with 100 million and 1 billion XRP scooped up over 1.6 billion XRP in the past week. That's more than $2.24 billion at current prices. Smart money loading up while others hesitate. Bullish signal incoming. And here we have the chart. And we can see this. This is all from sentiment. This is on chain. You guys can track it. We have the price of XRP going down. And then we have those wallets accumulating heavily. This is exactly what you want to see. Now, during this time, we also got a big update regarding Patrick Bet-David. Big shout out to Zave Crypto for this. We have breaking entrepreneur and investor Patrick Bet-David says that he bought more XRP and Bitcoin during the recent market crash while billions were wiped out. He doubled down, signaling strong conviction despite volatility. Smart money buys fear. Now, I want to go back real quick, just 1 second, to this post from Brad. And if we truly believe in this vision where we are shifting from legacy and traditional systems to these new systems, and XRP is a core piece of this, then yes, you would be pulling the same move that these big players are, the smart money players. You would be pulling the same move that they're doing, which is buying the fear, buying the blood, buying when things are down heavily. And here we have from Patrick Bet-David. Check this out.
Bought any crypto?
No.
You haven't bought any? Okay, so you haven't taken advantage of the discount that's going on right now?
Before the sun sets today, I'm going to.
Okay, got it. So I just bought a bunch of XRP and Bitcoin yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought a bunch when it dropped to whatever the number was in the 80s, high 70s, 80s. And to me, the part about dollar cost averaging is it's so easy to teach, but it's so hard to execute.
So yeah, I mean, listen, this is exactly how the big players make money. They buy when the market is down. They buy when everyone is fearful. This is exactly why I've always stated multiple times on this channel, and I will continue to, say this as well. When every retail investor is sitting here panicking and they're saying, I don't want to buy. It's too scary out there. Prices are down. I don't know when this is going to end. I think that things are going to go much lower, and mainstream media is telling you, oh, it's going much lower. It's doing XYZ. It's doing this. That's typically the best time to be locked in. Now, why is Patrick Bet-David buying? Why are all these, big whales buying? Well, because they believe that XRP, yes, it will be a major star in this market. But also, Ripple has been absolutely killing the game. with, of course, XRP at the core. And also ETFs. ETF inflows, 39 million inflows for XRP just recently. This was to end off last week. And even just recently, we saw more inflows for XRP. Again, all of the big players are buying. All of the big investors, all of the large whales, ETF players, they're all buying XRP right now. Now, it's because, yes, Ripple has been absolutely killing the game. We just got that, institutional DeFi blueprint for the XRP ledger and XRP, which is clearly telling us, hey, we're about to start to see some pretty big moves happening around the XRP ledger, but also Ripple. Ripple is doing extremely well. Back in August of 2025, Ripple was in the top 25 for the most valuable private companies in the world. They had a $15 billion valuation. Now you might say, well, hey, that's awesome. Top 25. We just got another big update, which is the fact that Ripple just entered into the top 10 most valuable unicorns globally. They climbed into the top tier of global unicorns with a valuation above $50 billion. Guys, not even a whole year later, going from 15 to over $50 billion. Ripple now ranks just behind Sheen and ahead of companies like Figure, Ramp, Canva, and Perplexity AI. Founded in 2012 by Chris Larsen and Jed McCaleb, Ripple was built as a blockchain-based payments rail and has grown into one of the most valuable private firms in the world. And yes, we have the update over here. The market is finally catching up to what XRP holders already knew. I mean, guys, they're at number 9 already on this list. $50 billion. Pretty wild. I would argue that probably by the end of this year, they would be above Revolut, which has a $75 billion valuation on it. I mean, it's wild, but again, like when we think about what's really happening here, I mean, Ripple is expanding so quick. The business model for Ripple now also shifted. It completely changed. It's no longer just XRP being their value driver. No, we also have Oro USD mixed in there. Institutional adoption is going to be picking up as well. I mean, it's something that we're definitely watching closely. I would argue almost everyone should be watching this closely because it's great for Ripple. Now, again, Ripple and XRP, completely two different things. However, this does it really goes to show you the type of companies that are utilizing XRP. I mean, Ripple has XRP at the core of its business model. They're worth $50 billion. They continue to move up this list as well, as you guys can clearly see. I mean, in less than 1 year, going from 15 to 50, I mean, that just goes to show you just how big Ripple is becoming. But I'm definitely looking forward to, seeing institutional DeFi become a reality on the XRP ledger. I think that that's going to be a game changer. I also think that Ripple is a key player behind a lot of the value tied back to this, because again, we know Ripple has partnerships with like 300 to 500 plus institutional players. They recently just expanded with another name that has over 1,000 institutional players. We also think about the, G Treasury acquisition. G Treasury has 13,000 institutional players and banks tied back to it. I mean, the upside potential here for institutional DeFi on the XRP ledger, I mean, it's truly limitless. I mean, it's crazy on how much potential this has for XRP, which is also why I think that a lot of the smart money right now, they're looking at this and they're saying, well, you know what, we might as well accumulate now because, who knows when we're going to get another opportunity like this for XRP. And also with the fear levels in this market, I mean, it's insane to look at the sentiment, the RSI, everything is so extremely oversold. So I do think that this is like one of the best times to be starting to plant some seeds in the market. Maybe don't go too heavy, but I definitely think that this is a great opportunity in the market. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video.